Well, I'm going to take some time and read the entire promise, and you'll be able to tell which part I'm emphasizing for today. So listen carefully. As a member of Toastmasters International and my club, I promise to attend club meetings regularly, to prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program, to prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments, to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters memberships offers, to adhere to the guidelines and rules for all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, and to act within Toastmasters' core value of respect, integrity, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. So you can tell, I hope, where my emphasis was for today. Yes, I am a bit effusive, I get that.
When needed.
If you have books, CL or CC manuals that you would like to get credit for your role today, please pass them to someone else. I would now like to call up our general evaluator, Kate Amundsen, to introduce her team.
Sorry.
Thank you. Hello. So of course, in traditional Canyon Park Echo style, thank you everyone who stepped up in the last minute to cover roles. Trey, Pat, thank you. So for my evaluation team today, let's start with our grammarian, who is Boston Carter. Why don't you tell us a little bit about her?
The word of the day is effusive, meaning it's an adjective, unduly demonstrative.
Good job.
And to use it in a sentence, if I could find my sheet, which I can't, it is good to be effusive in certain situations. As good as it gets. My job is to watch for and take note of awkward or misuse of language.
Thank you. All right, and our awe encounter today, Vina, why don't you tell us about your role?
Sure. As an R counter, I'll be carefully listening for all the filler words, for verbal pauses, like and I'll keep a track of it. And at the end of the meeting, I will let you know about it.
Thank you. And Trey, thank you for stepping into the timer role. Tell us about your role today.
So I'm here to give a non-effusive way to know if you're on time or not. I will hit the green light when you're on time, the red when you're about halfway through the maximum amount of time you got. I'll hit the red when you got 30 seconds left to go, or you will be disqualified. So I'm the timer, and I will be non-effusively indicating your time.
All right, wonderful. Well, I will introduce the rest of my team as well as give a report at the end of the meeting. So thank you so much, Pat. Introduce our first speaker.
Well, I'm pleased to say we have an icebreaker. An icebreaker is often given by a member who is new. However, this person is new to Pathways. And as you begin Pathways, the first project of the first level is an icebreaker. So here giving this icebreaker is Jorge, whose speech title is Seattle's Real Estate Market, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests that we don't have. I broke the ice this morning, so there will be no icebreaker. Instead, I'm going to talk about the housing market. I wrote a little article that you can pass around. And I will address a little bit of the current circumstances of the market, plus what we can expect towards the future. As we all know, the market is very cyclical. You know, the ups and downs of every market, be it the stock market or the real estate market. We have good times, we have bad times. We have times that sellers can take advantage of, and sometimes buyers have an opportunity to buy a home very easy. In today's market, it's very difficult for them. The typical real estate cycle is about 18 years in total. Who's driving our local real estate market today?
Amazon.
Essentially, the high-tech sector.
True. China.
The high-tech sector has been extremely active in driving a lot of people into Seattle. To be exact, approximately exact, it's about 1,000 people a week, which may not seem as a large number, but if you multiply that times 52, that's 52,000 new people in the area every year that will need roofs on their heads. So that affects the rental markets, that affects the property real estate market for sale, and in general everything. Market is so hot, has been so extremely hot, that even properties over $1 million in price are receiving multiple offers. I had never seen them. And I've been in the business for going into 17 years now. So the organization that is leading the pack in terms of hiring is Amazon. Their explosive growth has been absolutely amazing, to the point that they have planned to create a second headquarters, the HQ2 as they call it. And they're about to announce the winning city, and I believe Atlanta is one of the runner-ups, where they're going to establish that second headquarters. So that creates a little bit of a conundrum, in the sense that if they open up the second headquarters, those 1,000 people a week that are flowing into Seattle, they no longer are going to be flowing into Seattle. They might be going to the second headquarters. And perhaps they will move some people from the local area into that HQ2. To complicate the situation, the Seattle City Council approves the head tax, which will affect the corporate bottom line. Corporations, as everybody else, will try to protect their own pockets. And we're talking about Amazon, Google, Adobe, Tableau Software, F5 Networks, Southwest Airlines, that will very carefully consider the situation. The ugly. Some of the economists use the I word, inflation.
Oh.
It's starting to creep up. On top of that, mortgage rates have been going up. Have gone up from about 4% to 4.5%. And they're expected to reach 5% by the end of the year. That affects buyers as well as sellers. Because the buyer that could buy a $400,000 home at a higher interest rate, they're going to qualify for a lower priced home. There's a chart in the article that will illustrate the situation, and it's dramatic. For every 1% that goes up, a buyer will lose about 10% or 11% of purchasing power.
Wow.
Many folks, especially baby boomers, are holding on to their properties. The reason is we're coming out of the Great Depression, or the Great Recession, I'm sorry. And they're trying to make as much as possible before they let the house go, sell the house and move into a smaller house. Favorable conditions will not remain unchanged. Life is dynamic. So the market swings like the clock, the pendulum and the clock, the grandfather clock, goes slow and then fast and slow and fast and slow. So the buyer's market and the seller's market and the buyer's market, and we're coming very close to the swing. One of the casualties of that shift in the pendulum is we're not going to have any more bidding wars, which is what's driving the prices up. And as soon as that happens, and the sellers see that the prices are stabilizing and that they're not going up, they're going to start selling their homes all at once. Well, it's too late. So if you know of anybody that has been holding off for the best moment, ask them to reconsider. Because this might be the best moment. And that's what I have for you.
Can we have your cards?
Mr. Timer, may I have 1 minute so everyone can give their individual evaluations?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I would now like to have the table topics master come forward, and he will entertain us or frighten us, I'm not sure which, with table topics. Thank you, Naga.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I would like my volunteers for my table topics. Hi, Julie.
Your girl, wow, she's already laughing.
So I have a lot of table topics, so I would give each volunteer 2 topics. You can pick one, and
Oh.
you can go ahead.
Okay.
So the first question is, what life lesson did you learn the hard way? The second, who do you sometimes compare yourself to? Which one would you like?
I'll take the second one.
Okay. Who do you sometimes compare yourself to?
Thank you. Well, being that I'm a very effusive sort of person, I sometimes compare myself to a husky dog. Husky dogs are very hardworking and they are effusive. They love to do what they do, which is race and pull those sleds. They love to go flying through the snow, and I love to go flying through the snow. I love to work as part of a team, and if I were part of a dog team, I would not be the lead dog. I am not a leader from the front anyway. I'm more like a wheel dog, somebody who helps steer the sled, and it's a strong position. So I compare myself to the wheel dog on a dog sled team. I have blue eyes, like huskies do. I have light colored hair, like a lot of huskies do. I'm not a fast runner, but I do have some endurance. So I think I'm a lot like that in husky, and I'm super duper friendly, and people who I love, I like their faces, so look out.
Okay, who would be the second volunteer? There you go. Thank you. The first option is, where do you find your inspiration? And the second, if a doctor gave you 5 years to live, what would you try to accomplish? I'll take the first one. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So the question which I chose was, where do you find your inspiration from? And as I've talked in the past as well, my mother is my inspiration. I've seen my mom waking up at 2 in the morning and getting, like, we were living in a house where it was a shared house, so you have to, like, the water was coming at a specific time and you have like half an hour or 45 minutes to fill your water for that day. So she used to wake up at 2:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning, get the water filled in for us to drink and prepare the meal, get the shower, and then sleep again for 1 hour and then wake up in, and then go to the school as she was a teacher. So I have seen her working, and even after that hardship, she never complained. She said that that's what you have to do. If you have to succeed in life, you have to grow. You have to go through the grill of the life, and that's what makes you a success. And it's all because of her hard work. Like today, I try to follow the same principle. I try to work hard and try to take every challenges in my life as if that, yes, these are the life lessons which I need to learn and I will grow up, and that's what I try to teach to my daughter as well. Like, you cannot earn everything just by being like in a family who is well done or well, I would say, fed. You have to earn your place in this life. So, as I said, my mom is my inspiration.
Who would be the third volunteer here? I'm going to pick it. No one comes up. Veena, you want to come over? Your first one would be, what impact do you want to leave on the world? The second, what is your greatest strength and greatest weakness? Which one you want to pick?
Second one.
Okay, the second one would be, what is your greatest strength and greatest weakness?
Okay.
I think this topic, I always used to prepare when I was preparing for interviews. What is your greatest strength And my answer was, I'm a perfectionist, I want everything perfect. That's not the truth though, but that was my answer. And I used to say that, I want to be perfect, and sometimes it creates a problem because all the people around are not so perfect, and because of that I get in fight with my friends and my colleagues, and I want to do things in a specific way and in a perfectionist way, and they don't want to. So I think my weaknesses, if I have to, I never thought about it, but my weaknesses there are many, they're a long list. To say some, I think I'm a bit of over emotional person. Yeah, and that over emotional sometimes causes an issue because I have 2 kids, and then they see me that your mom is so emotional, and sometimes it looks so cool. And there were situations where it happened that my kids see me that I'm so emotional, and then they were making fun of me, and nowadays so by now they know that it's very common, and take it light. Yeah.
What's the next one? You want to come up? Yeah. What can you do today that you were not capable of a year ago? Okay, that's your first one.
Okay.
The next one. What is the difference between falling in love and being in love?
Well, I will take the second one. Both are very good. All of your questions have been really good. Both of those are good. I'll take the second one. The difference between falling in love and being in love. Now, this is a very loaded question, and I feel like I might need a little bit more time, but I'll just tell you my initial thoughts on this.
Go, girl.
So I've been in a couple of relationships in my life, and one thing that I have realized with a lot of when I was younger, a lot of those relationships is I fell in love hard and strong and passionate, and oh my God, this is just the man of my dreams, and I can't imagine anything different. So I'm speaking of female, male, well, loving relationships as far as my significant other, because I love a lot of people, but my significant other, not necessarily female or male. And what I've discovered with my husband, the man who I decided to marry, who I fall in love more and more with, who I am in love with. So I don't feel like I necessarily fell in love with him as quickly and as passionately as I did with some people in my past, but the love grows, and there's a love that isn't based on that passion, that the looks and that type of thing, but more the respect that I have, and the trust, and the communication, and all of that. So I don't think that I'm communicating very well today. But the bottom line is there is lust and there is love, and love comes when you have respect and trust, and it builds and gets stronger.
Yeah, one last question. One last volunteer. Last one. Steve.
Just practice. That's a good question.
What is the biggest change you have made in your life in last 1 year? Your second question. Who is your mentor and what have you learned from them? Okay.
I have a lot of mentors in my life.
This again.
I'm one of those people that I love to learn. I believe in continuing education. I believe that once we stop learning and growing, we stop living, essentially. Therefore, I try to take as much experience and as much knowledge and as much wisdom out of every situation and everything that I've been through in my life and take it and use it for good. I did say that I have a lot of mentors. I have mentors that I've never even met, such as Tony Robbins. He's a personal mentor of mine that I listen to almost daily. I draw a lot of inspiration and motivation from him. Bob Proctor is another one. Eric Worre. So there's a lot of people that I've never met that I've been personally mentored by. However, there's a lot of people just like you that have been personal mentors to me. John File, who's not here today, but he's been joining us at recent meetings, has been a very close mentor in my life, and I've drawn a lot of inspiration from him. He's helped me in a lot of different areas in professional development, in personal development. Toastmasters is another great example. I have probably drawn more personal development experience from this room itself in the last 3 years than any other book that I've read or any other course that or seminar that I've attended. Therefore, if you're a new member here at Toastmasters, you really want to stay because this is where you're going to draw a lot of your development. Finally, my last and probably most prominent personal mentor in my life, and this is not to offend anyone, is Jesus Christ. I believe that I try to exude the same love and affection and tolerance and grace for other people as him. And I try to live my life each day to become more like him and to follow that example for how to treat other human beings. That's how my dad lived his life, and I was very inspired by that, especially as I grew older and saw and appreciated how he treated other people. Thank you.
Thanks guys for everyone who has been volunteering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, what great questions, and what great answers. I would now like to turn the meeting over to our general evaluator, who will introduce our one and only speech evaluator. The remaining people of the GATE team will be introduced towards the end of the meeting.
All right. I would like to welcome up Ellen, who will be evaluating Jorge's speech. If you look over here.
Hi, Jorge. I'm so excited to evaluate your speech. This is my first time evaluating your speech. And I was looking forward to listen to your icebreaker, and then you told me you're going to talk about real estate, which I wish I heard about this 10 years ago when I moved to Seattle.
Let's go, girl.
As I was driving here, I told myself I'm going to write on my hair, and that everything else is written that I could read out. So I'm going to review your speech in 3 ways, in 3 organizations: content, organization, and delivery. I like the way your content is because your main point is real estate market, current market, what to expect. You stated the first thing you came up here, and was very appropriate because we all wonder why. Should we buy? Should we sell? Should we move? And should we invest? It is timely because I'm always, every 10 years my husband and I are thinking of moving somewhere else, so it's timely. Organization, you put it into 3 organizations: good, bad, and ugly. I love the content. I was reading it as someone was up here, and it's very simple, very informational. You didn't have extra wording, awesome. But my recommendation would be bullet points. In addition to that, you have bullet points, so it's easier for us as you were delivering your speech, so we can zone in. That's my recommendation. Delivery. I noticed that you were looking at us, not the side, most of the time. And my recommendation, someone taught me, talk to the audience as we were friends at a coffee table. Talk to Pat for a few seconds. Talk to Boston for a few seconds, and Kathy. You're very comfortable up here. I noticed that, very. And the other recommendation was to use a different speed. you use all one speed. And my next question, if we sell, what are we buying? If your call to action is to sell, what do you recommend us to buy? So we sell high, everything is high. That's my question.
Thank you, Ellen, and now we have Pat coming up to handle our elections. Thank you.
And thank you one and all. I'm pleased to say we have 21 members in the club, 13 of whom are present, so we have a quorum. This election will be legal. Well, maybe, probably. Trey's here, so I don't know.
His buddy's Tony. Of course it's gonna be legal.
If you could take these and take one and pass it down, I'd appreciate it. Those who are candidates, all those listed, have agreed to the role for which they're applying. They would be officers from July 1, 2018 to June 30th of 2019. And the people who are currently in their role, in that role, I'm sure will be happy to mentor them going forward. I would like to ask if anyone present would like to add their name to the list of candidates. And before you respond, I'd like to take a minute and read to you what it is, in essence, that each person does. And this I did get from the Pathways Navigator.
Oh.
It's chock full of all sorts of information. Yeah, Pathways guy, got to give a little plug. All right. President. This officer is the Chief Executive Officer responsible for supervision and operation of the club. The President sets the tone for the club and provides helpful, supportive leadership for all activities. Vice President Education. This officer is responsible for planning successful club meetings and making sure each member has the opportunity to achieve their educational goals. The VPE is the second highest ranking officer. Vice President Membership. This officer manages the process of bringing guests to meeting and encouraging those guests to become members. The VPM maintains a constant flow of new people into the club. Vice President of Public Relations. This officer promotes the club in the community and notifies the media about the club news and benefits. The VPPR updates web content and social media and safeguards the Toastmasters brand identity. Secretary. This officer maintains club records, manages files, handles club correspondence, and takes the minutes at each club and executive committee meeting. Treasurer. This officer is the club accountant. The treasurer manages the club bank account, writes checks when approved by the executive committee, and deposits dues and other club revenues. Sergeant at Arms. This officer keeps track of the club's physical inventory. The SAA arrives early to prepare the meeting place and stays after to stow the club equipment. The immediate past president is an officer who serves as a guide and resource to club officers and members. And if you take a look at the back of your agenda, you will see who the current club officers are. So, with that said, let me ask again. Is there anyone present who would like to add their name to the list of officer candidates? Okay. You'll note that we have two people who are running for the Vice President of Membership. Linda is ill, so cannot be here today. I have asked both Linda and Jorge I had informed them in advance of the meeting to spend a minute or two giving a little talk about why they think they would be the best candidate to serve the club. I would like to ask Steve Beaumont to read Linda's talk.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters of Canyon Park Echoes. I wish I could be at this meeting to give my own speech. However, I have been sick for several days, and I'm sure all of you would rather I not show up at the risk of spreading the virus I currently have. I am honored to be in the running for VP of membership of this club. Here are 2 reasons I think you should vote for me. Personal. I am deeply committed to this club, as I've often shared with you that I fell in love with Toastmasters the first meeting I attended. I really had no idea what I'd be walking into, but as the meeting unfolded, I found the right combination of spontaneity and organization. I believe that when I had walked into other clubs, I might not have had this love at first listen experience. For that, I am 100% loyal to this fantastic group of people. I schedule my Wednesdays so that I can make sure I can be at Canyon Park Echoes. I don't believe I've ever not shown up due to a last-minute emergency, except maybe today when I waited until the last minute in hopes of being instantly cured, which didn't happen. The only other few times I have missed is because of vacation the past 2 weeks, or something around which I couldn't reschedule. And I've let the club know well in advance that I would be absent. I believe VP of membership is a role that needs someone who will more often than not be on hand to greet visitors and answer any questions in case they are seriously interested in joining. In this role, I will arrange for someone else to be point person if I can't be there. Number 2, strategic. It looks like we will have an almost new board for 2018-2019. I'm very excited about this as the new blood with new ideas keeps clubs strong and innovative. However, there is also a need for some institutional memory in other officer roles. The only holdover position is Vice President Education. Our president will be new, but Randy has been president of a sister club and has been here at CPE for a long enough time to know the president's role in our club culture. Last, I think the other positions are people who have never held any role in Toastmasters. I think it will be very good for this club to have someone with my background. I've filled the roles of president and sergeant of arms, and am currently completing 1 year of being area director. Thank you. Linda Whittleson.
Go ahead, Owen.
Mr. Timer, a minute. I should have asked for a minute here and I neglected.
that
Actually,
was like 3 minutes.
table topics, 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay.
Do I see any Russians around here?
Please vote based on the content, not my delivery.
It's tough to compete with Linda's presentation. Very much the same as Linda, we're in sales, and we love to interact with people. And I know for a fact, having been at the club here for about a year, I know the value that we can provide to our members, and that's why I offered myself to be a VP of membership for the upcoming year. So, having said that, and since there are no Russians, I'd like you to consider voting for me.
I think there's influence somewhere.
I'm going to hand these out, one per person. It's not a matter of vote early and vote often. So,
Like at a charity
this is a secret
function,
ballot,
bid early.
so kindly check the name that you want. And then, Mr. Timer, if you wouldn't mind counting the ballots, that would be appreciated.
Mr. Tabletop to take this as well.
This is Charlie.
Oh, okay. Thanks. You're doing such a great job, Steve. I wouldn't want to slow you down.
And while this is being done, I have the bully pulpit, and I'm going to take full advantage of it.
Okay, Teddy.
There is a new club that you have heard about, I hope, that is forming in the Bothell area. And with any luck, we are going to charter this Saturday, meaning we'll have a minimum of 20 members. It's an advanced club, so you need to have at least 6 speeches under your belt or be in Pathways Level 2. So when you finish Pathways Level 2 or 6 speeches, we'd love to have you join. Some of the people who are planning to join and have submitted applications include Randy Barber, who will soon be our president, Trey, who is Pathways Guide and Pathways Ambassador, Steve, soon to be past president but currently president of this club, Barb McIntyre, another member of this club who has also been an area director and soon to get her DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster designation, Jorge, go Jorge, Linda Whittlesey, go Linda. One thing we didn't mention is you're both real estate agents. How cool is that? Myself, Melissa Barnes, who most of you know, Vladimir Balabanov, who in the past has won the district evaluation speech contest, and Jim Sultan, who's an to me, and him, personally speaking, is an outstanding evaluator and past international director. And there's others as well, and I gotta tell you, to me, giving a speech in that club is a little scary, but the evaluations that I hear given to other people and to myself are amazing. One person gives an evaluation, it's 3 to 5 minutes long, and then there's a round table. Everybody who wants to can spend a minute or so giving further feedback. It's an incredible experience, not only for yourself as a speaker, but to listen to what the other evaluators have to say. I happen to have, what a surprise, applications. If you'd like to join, raise your hand, I'll give you an application now, or you can catch me on the way out. That's great. And the cost to join is $51.25.
Per 6 months or per year?
For 6 months, and then come October, you'll have to make up the difference from whenever we can't decide it's going to be $20. We can't prorate now because we're not sure exactly when we're going to charter. So come the fall, we'll do the prorated amount.
So from the fall, if once charter, we can pay for 1 year?
You'll pay for, so let's say we charter now, and the paperwork is done in June. Well, then the June, July, August, September, whatever that for, you'll pay that in September. It's kind of confusing. And the checks are to be made out to CPEchoes because Ellen has been kind enough to hold our funds for us. We don't have a bank account. The club doesn't exist yet.
I know that problem. I have the same problem in my Gavel club.
I'm still not
Having
doing the math.
attended the,
How much does
meeting.
it cost per year?
Same. It's
Well, I don't know
oh,
what
I'm
it
sorry.
is.
I apologize. It's $45 for international dues,
Okay.
just as it is here.
Okay.
And then whatever the club decides will be the club dues. Here, the club dues are $12, which is
Okay.
why for 6 months, it's $57.
$57,
So
okay.
it's 45 plus whatever.
Something.
And the reason it's $51.25 right now is you've got that 45 to be member of the club.
Mhm.
And then it's $125 for a charter application.
Okay.
Divide that by 20, which is the minimum number of people, and it comes to $6.25. And anything above that we don't need for the charter application, that's $6.25, will go into the club's coffers once we have them. Or Ellen can keep it, I don't know. One way.
I do have a question. Is it a monthly meeting or is it?
Oh, that's a good question, thank you. And I have a flyer that talks about where it is, somewhere in there. Here it is. It's once a month. It's on Saturday morning from 8:30 to 10:30. currently, it's at the Country Village in Bothell, but it can't be there forever because they're shutting it down. They're turning it into townhouses.
Right.
No, I'm not gonna show it. That's what it is.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anybody else?
I don't think I have 6 speeches yet.
It's a shame, isn't it?
So if you want to take some of these and pass them down, that would be great too. So if we charter this weekend, this is, you are a member, yes, that's right, you don't need that. I did the wrong thing. This is your opportunity to be a charter member if you're so interested. I don't know how often you can be a charter member of a club, but this is your chance.
Can I have a word?
Maybe I could have.
Yes, please.
Having attended a previous meeting at the club, it is a very fun, quite advanced. So you guys could benefit from yet a different perspective of things. It's a 2-hour meeting, which gives us the opportunity to present longer speeches and have a very good team around us.
How many of you remember Eric Granquist? Okay, he's joined. Enough said.
Wow.
Mr. Timer.
The last Saturday of every
The
month?
fourth.
Fourth
The fourth
Saturday.
Saturday of the
Sometimes
month.
there's five.
And if you take a look at that handout, it describes
Oh,
what it
it's
is and
right
why and where. And do you have the, did you do the count?
I did. You want to one?
Okay. So I would like to now read who is on the board. President Randy Barber.
Yay.
VP of VP of Education.
Kathy.
Yay.
Yay.
VP of Membership Linda Whittlesey. She's sick, but this will make her feel better. And currently on this new club, we have what are called pro tem officers, which means they're only officers until the club charters, and then we'll elect real officers, not real, more permanent officers for the year. Another opportunity.
Are you sure there wasn't collusion around? There's a
For the pro tem officers, actually, in that case, we had 7 people who had agreed to become officers. And at that last meeting, 6 of us were present. Guess which one became president? Yep, I called her and told her. Okay, VP of Public Relations, Kate Madison.
Yay!
Treasurer,
Yay.
Boston Carter. Secretary, Amy Vetter.
Yay!
And Sergeant at Arms, Naga Venkata.
Yay!
Would you all stand, please?
Yeah.
Our new board.
Oh, the new ones. I'm gonna skip it.
Be aware that there is a meeting of the board immediately after this. If you can attend, that would be delightful. If you
How
can't,
long is the meeting?
Mr. President, how long is the meeting?
Usually 45,
Oh, okay.
sometimes less.
And it's at 2 o'clock in Victoria. You can come again?
You can scoot out early.
Okay, I'll see you on.
And before you leave, I also have the manuals for officers. There's a manual for everything just about. Actually, I strongly recommend that you read the manual, at least your part of it, because you do learn a lot. And there will be officer training, I believe in June, that I would strongly recommend you attend because you'll also learn a lot about your role. And you'll meet other people who have the same role, some of whom are quite experienced.
And you'll get money for our club
And
if
you'll get-
everyone goes.
That is correct. We'll get $70 to spend on the Toastmasters store, so.
Do we have this year? Do we earn it this year, the $70?
No, this last time we only had 6 people attend.
Oh, okay, so
I'm
I
sorry, I
still
was
have
so
$70.
Yeah, but it's good in perpetuity.
Okay.
Okay, and with that, Mr. President, I don't know what else I have to say. Oh, it's back to the, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we are running just a few minutes behind, so for our evaluation reports today, we're gonna go pretty quickly. So let's start with our timers report. Trey, do you wanna tell us about our time today?
So, everybody was within time today except for Jorge, who seem to talk a lot, so I'll leave it at that.
You're gonna give me a ticket?
Yeah. Next up, let's have our counters report, please.
Everyone did awesome. I heard 3 R in John's speech, in initial speech, and then you warmed up and it's all gone. In table topic, I couldn't listen to myself. There was a lot of pause, silence. And Amy, I heard 1 R because of the overloaded table topic, and Kate 2 while evaluating John's speech.
Oh, just to interrupt you a little bit, we're supposed to vote.
Oh. Yes,
Oh,
please
that's
vote and pass around
Vote quick.
while we're doing
Vote
this.
fast.
Or table
Go
topics.
instinct, just.
Yeah, tabletop is really easy.
And while we vote, Boston, would you like to tell us our grammarian's report for today?
Great way to start. Word of the day was used twice by Trey, twice by Julie, once by Steve, once by Pat. Vivek is not here. We'll pass. And I'm sorry, I don't know. Vina, I'm Boston. Use the word fool instead of foolish. And said makes me look fool, and should be makes me look foolish. That was it.
All right, thank you. Okay, so general meeting evaluation, great. I'm glad that we were able to get voting done. That was fabulous. We are just about coming up on time here, so bravo on those quick evaluations there. And again, thank you for everyone who stepped in at the last minute. As always, a gentle reminder, by Thursday evening, check Easy Speak. Make sure that you're signed up for a role so that everything goes smoothly for next week. So I'd like to invite our Toastmaster back up. Thank you, Pat.
Yay!
I'd like to thank the volunteers who took additional roles or stepped up to a new role.
Including you?
Including those who stepped down. Steve had a 15-minute speech, and if we'd done that, there would have been no table topics.
Oh, I wondered what happened there. Okay.
So I would like to hand this out to the people who are now officers real quick.
I never got one last year. No wonder I saw it.
Three, four. Who am I missing? Who am I missing?
Kathy left.
No, you
Kathy
Kathy and
left.
Linda on the spot there.
So Kathy, Linda, and Randy.
Right.
So Kathy left. Take it, make note. And with that, Mr. President, you haven't been up here much. Would you like to read the,
Sure, I can do that.
and I don't see ribbon.
Oh, we didn't get ribbons.
I'll get the ribbon.
Okay, so Pat will get the ribbons. I will stall in the meantime. I do want to, we haven't been doing the President's Award much this year, but I did want to temporarily reinstate it for the last few weeks that I'm president, because this meeting especially, we had some people stepping up at the last minute. We almost didn't have a Toastmaster as of yesterday morning, and anyone that's ever been in that position, it can be very stressful. So I just want to thank both Pat and Trey, who both stepped up.
And Amy.
Amy stepped, oh, so I know Amy.
Until I
But
got here.
they were both lifesavers, so we wanted Okay, so Amy's gonna get one, and I owe Trey some lifesavers. I didn't even see the email from Amy, so all I know is I put out an email on Monday evening, and by Tuesday morning there was a response. That's very important to keep our club going and keep these meetings, because without a Toastmaster, we don't have an agenda, we don't have a flow, and it's very, very difficult to have a meeting. And for people to just have to be forced to step up is much more challenging. So thank you for volunteering and stepping up in those roles. With that being said, are we ready for okay. For our evaluator, big drum roll would be Ellen. Pat, I have a speaker.
That's okay.
We need an evaluator ribbon.
Oh, can I donate it back once you also
Okay,
do
so
it?
she's gonna donate it right back to us.
Someone has to buy it.
She's the treasurer. She's trying to save us money.
Yeah.
Stack up my ribbons.
And for table topics, the winner is not here, Vivek. I will accept on Vivek's place. and I will give him his award. We didn't have any guests today, but I think we had a phenomenal meeting. Great speech. The elections were very smooth. I want to thank Pat for all of the effort. Pat was our past president over the course of this past year, and she has been, I can't describe the amount of times that she's bailed me out, that she's stepped in and helped me understand things, because I know that this has been it's a tough role, and it's been a challenge at times. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support, not just for me in this role as president, but for what you do for our club. We wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be the club we are without you and all that you do for us. So just tremendously thank you so much, Pat, for all that you've done, and we're just honored to have you part of this club and still leading the charge. You've served as president a few times here.
Once here and once Willow's Voices.
Okay, but I mean, just so much of what we have here in our culture is thanks to you, and we just really appreciate it. Wonderful.
I'd like to thank the broader Toastmaster community who's not here. And Trey, you can speak to this. You go to other clubs and you get other ideas. And after I was president here, I went on to become area director. I learned so much. And then, of course, I was dragged to Toastmasters clubs for 10 years before I was even a Toastmaster. And I learned a lot by attending contests, meetings, and such. So getting outside your comfort zone and even just visiting a club now and then that's a stranger, like Public Speaking Northwest. It's on Tuesdays, walking distance from here. You learn so much about how other things can be done, other ways to do the same thing. So it's an opportunity to open your eyes and just get out there and do it. Trey, you went to the conference on Saturday.
I sure did.
Did you have a good time?
Oh, it was delightful.
Was it worthwhile?
Oh, I have been multiple times, and the first time I went, I kind of thought, this might be a doodah experience, and I really enjoyed it, and I have been back multiple times. I really enjoy the district conferences. They're awesome. I strongly recommend it. There was just an absolutely killer keynote address by Ken.
By
Dan
and Jaya Hederachi.
Yes.
And the last name, for example, has CHCH in it.
So.
Glad I don't have to spell his name.
Yeah. Great time. You guys missed a great deal. So.
But they can attend the future great deals.
Yes.
They're only going to be held once a year now. No more fall conferences.
Oh, okay.
It's by Toastmasters International. So, the district will spend their money doing something else. Okay, and I've taken again more time than I should have, but here we go.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you all for your support and just kind of being patient with me over the course of the last year. It has been a huge learning curve for me, but this is how we learn and grow in Toastmasters. And what I've gleaned over the course of this past year has been remarkable. And I can only just promise to do my best to help serve you over the course of the next 5 weeks that I have remaining as your president over the next year. It's in supporting Randy and our new board that's coming in. With that being said, I welcome our new board members to attend our board meeting today and next month as well. And if there's nothing further from the group, I would like to adjourn us about a minute early today. Have a great day.
Oh, he's texting me.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah, it's right in this room, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a very flexible.
You want to tell her so that you know right now?
If you want to send her an email, that'd be great.
It would make her feel good.
Oh, okay.
So if someone's okay, sign up.
That's awesome.
Oh, you work for one, that's right.
Sorry. And Wayne is going to be your
I think
sponsor.
you did a great job, and I really like it.
Oh, really?
Meeting our job is sponsor. This is just going to do it. And now it's going to help
Yeah.
Steve,
All right, all
does
right.
the extension cord go in here?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
What if I
Come
want
on.
to?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not that big. Almost, all right, that's fine.
I like a girl who's on it.
Okay.
But if you, let's say you live in San Francisco, value is really high as well. What
Right
if
there.
you love
Board
it?
members will start in about 5 minutes.
Getting our air conditioner set up.
What are you
so I
gonna
am.
go after you sell the highest, you know?
It's so funny, you're from Florida.
Hate it.
But very few people in that position.